Robin is having your child. That is not something you can hide from any more than you can ignore it. Patrick, you are going to be a father, whether you're ready or not.
Elizabeth, Robin is the one determined to do this on her own.
Because she doesn't want to pressure you. That doesn't mean she doesn't want you to be a part of the baby's life. Trust me. If you give up this chance to raise your child, you will always regret it.
You know, Elizabeth is just trying to help, but she could not be more wrong.
Sorry, guys. We don't open until 6.
Oh, I'm here to give my friend a private tutorial. Jasper Jacks, I called ahead.
Of course, Mr. Jacks. What can I start you with?
Let's start with 10,000. Pick a number.
Given that the Jackal's gaming experience has been mostly of a virtual nature, perhaps we should go over the fundamentals prior to placing any actual bets of monetary value.
First rule in gambling, if you can't afford to lose, you shouldn't play. And that's exactly how you have to act, even if it's not true. Now pick a number.
So the Jackal has more to learn than he thought.
So I'd like the clinic to be as welcoming as possible, medically efficient, of course, just without that cold, sterile look of a hospital. You know?
Yeah. Well, the aesthetics won't be a problem, although passing the inspection might. It'll take a lot of work to get this building up to code. I'll call a contractor and get him to pull some permits.
Okay.
You just can't stay out of trouble, can you? One breaking and entering arrest wasn't enough.
What time did she leave this morning, your little friend?
I'm not getting into this with you.
Come on, John. It's a simple question.
You're trying to pick a fight.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to avoid a fight, actually. Listen, the last thing I want to do is stumble over Lulu coming out of your bedroom in the morning.
Ta-da! Aren't you going to invite me in?
Elizabeth, you've been such a good friend to me during my pregnancy. Such an incredible resource, answering all my questions, offering advice. And it's a comfort to me to know that, you know, you are my friend and you are a single mother and you have a career and you have a family. You have it all. And of course, as a single mother, you are entitled to your own opinion as far as how much a father should contribute to his child's life. But what you have to understand is that these are Elizabeth's feelings, not mine. I am perfectly capable of doing this all on my own.
The point is, you don't have to.
Look, I really do appreciate what you're trying to do, but it's not necessary. I'm excited about being a single mother. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. All of it. So please don't feel like you have to step up and get involved. You're under no obligation here. I've got everything under control.
Who are you trying to convince?
You bought the building already?
I want to get this clinic up and running as soon as possible. I already hired an architect. He's going over the space as we speak.
Wow. When you said you wanted to start a clinic, I figured a couple months, next year maybe. I had no idea you could be so...
What, decisive?
Well, he did go back and forth for a few weeks about whether or not to have the surgery,
I know. Extraordinary circumstances. However, I had to choose between my life and the love of my life, so...
Or at least the idea of her.
I already told you she was real to me. I could see her, speak to her. I just knew that if I had the surgery, that I would lose her. That's why I vacillated the way I did. So, you see my customary approach to obstacles, right? If I decide I want something, I want it to happen immediately.
Well, some people would call that spoiled, but I guess that's just all part of being a prince. People falling all over themselves to do whatever you want.
People do not fall all over themselves. Come on.
Mr. Cassadine.
Yes.
Permits are being filed as we speak. Now, normally it takes a few weeks to get approval from the city, but I think in your case, they'll make an exception.
Right, of course. I'm sorry. This is Nadine Krause. She's consulting with me on the project.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Her opinion is it's very important to me. Whatever she wants for this clinic, just make sure it's taken care of, okay?
Jensen thinks we should run the interview with Keira Knightley.
Oh, well, clearly Jensen's not paid to think, because if he was, he'd know that was a bad idea. Why would I run a cover story in a competing magazine? Why would I give Giselle the exclusive?
You wouldn't, which is why Oliver suggested we run something completely different. Give the readers a feel for what Crimson really is without giving up anything from our debut issue.
Thank you, Maxie. That would be my preference. But since we don't have a photographer, I fail to see how that's an option. Girls, we need something fresh. We need something truly original. Do you have any insight?
We could run an excerpt on that piece on microloans, just enough to make readers realize that Crimson is more than just mindless fluff.
Or we could run something that really focuses on our target age range, like the pictures from the What to Wear clubbing shoot.
Now that's a new way to appeal to a younger audience. Let your assistants make the editorial decisions.
There are two types of bets in roulette. The outside, which is this area, or the inside. And you can bet on a single number. You can split a number, which represents both of these. You can put it in the middle right there. It represents all four numbers, or you can put it on the side, which represents an entire row.
Okay, forgive the Jackal's ignorance, but wouldn't it just be, I don't know, easier to bet on red or black?
Well, if you want to play it safe, but if you want to win big, you have to play big.
What would the gaming guru suggest?
I suggest picking a number in the middle. The payout is bigger.
Okay. Okay. Oh.
No more bets.
Come on, fire.
7. Congratulations, Mr. Jax.
Thank you. Second lesson in gambling, always trust your instincts.
But what if the Jackal's instincts are wrong?
Well, then you lose. The key is you have to pretend like you don't care.
Of course I care. Who wouldn't want money and prestige? I mean, not that the Jackal isn't financially sound. I mean, it's not what pays the most.
Forget about the money for a start. Assume once you put the chips down that they're already gone. What you're paying for is the fun of having something at stake.
I'm sorry, the Jackal doesn't follow. How is losing money fun?
Well, Daddy, what do you think?
Why you had to lease a place is beyond me. There are plenty of rooms available at the Metro Court.
I don't like hotels. They're too impersonal. This place feels like a home.
With someone else's stuff around?
What, you don't like the furniture?
That's not what I would have picked.
Well, then I guess it's a good thing you don't live here.
I still want to be comfortable when I visit. Now, it was nice that you found a place across from my hotel, and it's not going to be any trouble to come see you, as long as I got the kid here to help me down those stairs.
Daddy, come on. We can just put a ramp in if it'll be easier for you.
Don't bother. By the time you get this place accessible, the house will be ready for us to move back in.
Claudia and I are staying here.
Oh, I want my children with me.
Well done, Mr. Spinelli. Now that you've mastered roulette, let's try your hand at blackjack, shall we? Would you please set up a table for us? We'll be at the bar. I guess scotch, please. And the gentleman will have...
Orange soda?
Soda. Make it a vodka on the rocks.
Just a word of caution. The Jackal's tolerance for alcohol and other intoxicants is meager at best.
Then nurse it. The goal isn't to get drunk. It's to appear relaxed. You should always order a drink when gambling, and then when you get to the table, you ignore it. Just think of it as a prop, as an image that you're trying to project. Now, show me how you hold the glass.
Jack, I wasn't aware there were options.
Just pick it up and take a drink. Like this. From underneath, the straw is for stirring, not sipping.
Even if the jackal does manage to master the art of cool nonchalance, how will this help me win the blonde heart?
Well, you and Patrick, too, is your choice. I had no right to intervene. After you witnessed my meltdown earlier, who could blame you? It's just for the first time I was thinking about if I were to die, what would happen to my child? It only makes sense that you would go to Patrick and ask him to step up and be a parent.
Well, that was one part of it. The other part is that Jason and I came close to being together, and I'm still adjusting to the reality that it'll never happen.
Well, you had to do what was best for your kids.
And I'm so blessed that Lucky is their father. I mean, he's a great dad, and he will always take care of them. But I can't help but feel bad for Jason, because he has no one.
By choice. Jason doesn't live a child-friendly existence.
But Patrick does. I think he'll be missing out if he lets you raise that baby by yourself.
Patrick never wanted to be a father, and I have to respect that.
Okay, I'm not criticizing your choices, but I don't think you're giving Patrick enough credit. I think he's more willing to be a father than you realize.
We've already lost too much time together as a family.
Oh, whose fault is that?
I wasn't in my right mind when I sent Claudia away. Now that she's back and I'm sane, there's no reason why we shouldn't be together. As soon as the house is rebuilt, we'll all be moving in.
Well, Daddy, if that's what you want, I mean, yeah. Of course. Me and John will come home, right, John?
Sure.
I'm glad to hear that. In the meantime, I'll be expecting a dinner invitation soon. Come on, kid. I'm not getting up those stairs by myself.
There's no way in hell I'm going back to that place. I just got my freedom back. I'm not giving it up now.
Johnny, a lot can happen in the time it takes to rebuild that house. Look, who knows where Daddy will be? Who knows if Daddy will even be alive by then?
All right, this is good. It looks like the kind of place your father would definitely be into.
Yeah, then where is he?
I don't know. Knowing your dad, he's probably laying low to make sure we weren't followed.
Mac has no jurisdiction here, and he can't even touch him without having him extradited across the border.
Yeah, but guess what? Trace can. And who do you think he's more afraid of running into?
That's a good point. You want to drink while we wait?
No, Hey, let me go get it, please. You know, take me into this.
I can ask.
No, I think the bartender probably knows something. This is my territory.
Listen, that's what I'm
That's
afraid
why I'm here. Hola. Dos cerveza, por favor.
Bottle or drop?
Oh, where's my Spanish that bad?
The accent could use some work.
Okay, I'll work on it. I guess I will go with something harder. Tequila, too, please. Maybe it'll loosen me up a little bit. The R's can roll off.
I'll help you loosen up, Chica.
When I first started this blog, the purpose was to reach out to other expectant mothers and try to prepare myself as a single mother that's about to bring in this little being into my world. But I find it kind of ironic because it seems like the subject I discuss the most is the baby's father. And
Robin.
hold that thought, please. You know, I'm kind of in the middle of something, so it'd be great if you could just come back later.
Well, the blog can wait. This can't. Look, I've been thinking about what Elizabeth said, and she's right. This baby's gonna come, and I'm gonna be a father, whether I'm prepared or not.
Okay, but this baby isn't coming for months, so why start stressing about something that hasn't even happened yet?
I'm just trying to understand my role in all this.
Okay, but there are no expectations here. I told you that I am completely prepared to do this on my own.
Yes, you've told me that 100 times.
Well, apparently not enough, because now we're having this conversation.
Robin, I am the father of this baby. Now it's time we figure out what that means.
So there's a big difference between flirtation and romance. Flirtation is supposed to be fun. No one gets too serious. Sometimes it leads to sex, sometimes it doesn't. Romance, on the other hand, is completely different. Romance can lead to love. The problem being, sometimes one person gets a little more attached than the other.
Yeah, such is the Jackal's dilemma. I mean, despite my many efforts to man up, as it were, the Jackal has fallen hard and is descending consistently into the abyss of love at an alarming rate. Sadly, Maximista has failed to notice, let alone reciprocate his feelings. Oh.
Mrs. Spinelli, if you wear your heart on your sleeve, it is going to get crushed. You have to treat love like a game. You pretend that it doesn't matter whether you lose this girl or not. And you keep it fun. You make her believe that she's the one who got serious first.
Emily had a sincere desire to help people, which is why she became a doctor in the first place, to make a difference. And I just want this clinic to be her legacy.
I think it's a great tribute. Emily would be really proud that you're helping people in her name.
Unfortunately, that can't happen until the clinic's open.
Patience.
One of the many virtues I wasn't blessed with.
Well, you got pretty much everything else, so I'd consider it a fair trade.
Nadine?
Hi. What are you doing down here?
You stole the words right out of my mouth.
So, welcome to the Emily Bowen Quartermain Free Clinic. What do you think?
Well, definitely needs some work.
Yeah.
Lucky for you, Nadine is very creative. She's gonna make an excellent advisor. I mean, she's smart and meticulous and...
Why don't I give you a tour?
We'll be right back.
Sure, yes. Take your time. I'm just gonna step outside and call Norma and check on Spencer.
Okay.
What was that?
What?
Selling me like a used car. You should ask Nicholas to kick my tires.
At least let the man buy you dinner first. Jeez.
Seriously.
I just want to make sure he notices you, that's all.
Well, thank you, but it's not necessary. Nicholas and I are finding ways to connect all on our own.
Okay. Thank you, Norma. Just tell Spencer I'll be home soon. Thank you.
Nicholas Cassadine. We meet again.
Imagine that.
Kate, this space of yours is absolutely divine. It must have been quite a challenge for you to create something so current out in the middle of nowhere.
No, with a good designer and a little imagination, you can do anything.
I'm surprised you could find a designer willing to travel all the way out to the hinterlands.
No, what's surprising is that you did. To what do I owe the pleasure?
Darling, I wanted to tell you how delighted I am to feature Crimson's promo piece in the pages of Couture.
I appreciate the gesture. But you could have called. I know how busy you are.
Oh, nonsense, please. You know I always have the time for you. We can visit. While I review the content of the promo piece, we wouldn't want either publication to overshadow the other.
Oh, no. No, of course not. Lulu, why don't you show Giselle the latest draft of the microloans piece? I think there's a copy on your desk.
Sure, yeah, this way.
Okay, I do not have time to deal with Giselle. You need to find Jax, and you need to tell him he has to come here and distract her. Okay, go, Maxie.
Any thoughts?
I clearly admire your attempt to engage the intellect of the young readers as well as their eye for fashion. No doubt that's why you picked this one as an assistant. Clearly, she can't put an outfit together to save her life, but she is intelligent. Perhaps your other assistant could provide her with a primer on how to dress? The outfit she was wearing was absolutely stunning. Federico Cabrera, wasn't it?
Well, why don't you ask her yourself?
What are you doing here?
Just stopping by for a visit. Ladies, how's everybody doing today?
Let's get out of here. My bike's out back.
I'm not interested, okay?
Get interested. We're going for a ride.
You got a problem, Ingrid? Make me. You know what? I'm not looking for any trouble.
Let him go! Get out of here and take your friend.
Should cover the cost. And that, we're looking for someone. But let me guess. Luca Spence.
You following me?
Are you always this paranoid?
You don't expect me to believe that you were just walking on by.
I like to walk. I do. It's good exercise. And hey, you never know what kind of unexpected things you might see. Like you here. What are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm opening up a clinic in Emily's name, free healthcare.
That's wonderful. Nicholas, I know how much you miss her. That's a really beautiful way to keep her memory alive. Please, allow the Zakars to contribute.
He needs a suit. I'm thinking 3-button, flat front trouser, black.
The Jackal sought your counsel on matters of the heart, not of a sartorial nature.
Women are always more interested in a well-dressed man. And they only get one shot at a first impression.
And this look is not impressive by any means. It says unkept, unprofessional, and downright slovenly.
Well, I mean, the Jackal's always gravitated towards comfort over style.
Right, which is probably why you're still single.
Point taken. 3-button it is.
Okay.
My apologies, ladies. I hope I'm not interrupting.
Is there something that we can do for you, Anthony?
I was on my way back to my room when it hit me. I've been staying in this hotel for over a week. I haven't stopped in to say hello. I don't want to be accused of being a bad neighbor.
Kate, it must be difficult to publish a magazine with so many guests wandering in and out of the office. Does this happen often?
No, this would be a first.
What can I say? I'm the curious type. Always looking for new investments, ways to expand my business. The Zakaras believe in diversification.
Did you say Zakara? As in Anthony Zakara?
Oh, don't believe all the stories. The truth is much worse. I'm serious. And if you don't believe me, you ask Kate's boyfriend, Sonny Corinthos. He was so afraid of me, he had to take an early retirement. You ladies have nothing to fear. I'm just here to see Lulu. How you doing?
Fine.
I'm glad to hear that. When you see John, you may want to tell him I stopped by. Just say that it's nice to know that I can find you whenever I want.
All right. So, how do you know Luke Spencer anyway?
He's been a regular here for the last couple of weeks. He comes in, has a few drinks. He leaves.
Yeah, when's the last time you saw him?
A few days ago. He mentioned that a pretty girl and some guy that matches your description will come asking for him.
Yeah, did he leave a message?
Just some numbers.
Did you leave anything else? Name of a hotel, maybe a bank? Something that these numbers correspond to?
Sorry, that's it.
Okay, well, do you think it could be account numbers or something?
Listen, I don't know what else to think. My dad usually gives me more to work with than this.
All right, well, I think it's been a long time since your dad's been on the run, so he's probably just starting to slip up a little bit.
You know what? He can do this stuff in his sleep. It comes second nature. It probably should be for me, too. He spent more than enough time teaching me how to crack codes when I was a kid. Now I just gotta figure out what this means.
This is nice.
What?
What? I've seen you in your element and finding clues, investigating. I feel like I'm finally getting to know the real Lucky Spencer.
When I told you that I was ready to have a child, you said, no kids, I don't want to be a father. That's not part of the plan. I mean, has something changed?
Yeah, Robin, everything's changed. You have a baby growing inside of you. A life that I helped create, and I don't want to miss who that child is going to become. But most of all, I don't want that child growing up feeling unloved or unwanted because it wasn't part of some plan. I can't help but think that I'm going to be a lousy father.
Why would you think that?
I didn't really have the best role model. And my dad put work in front of everything. And when my mother died, he completely abandoned me. I don't know the first thing what a kid needs or how a father thinks. And I'm not talking about being a coach of Little League or helping with the homework before dinner. I'm talking about being present in a child's life, you know, being available. I worked so hard at being a surgeon that if I start thinking about a child, my work is inevitably going to suffer. And I'm not saying that's going to happen with you. I'm just saying that
Listen,
people have priorities.
I understand, and I really want to hear what you have to say, but I keep thinking about a pizza, a loaded one from Ambrosio's.
You're hungry.
So hungry. Will you please pick one up for me?
You need to go up to the office right now.
Why? What happened?
Giselle is here and she and Kate are locked in a battle to the death. I'm being serious. If you don't get upstairs right now, Giselle's gonna get up there to bury Crimson before it even launches.
Kate, now it's obviously all making sense. You had no choice about hiring Lulu, despite her fashion handicap. She clearly has extremely powerful friends.
Anthony didn't threaten Kate to give me a job.
It must be terrible to have your new magazine embroiled in mob politics. I certainly hope that there's no implication that Crimson is financed by dirty money.
Giselle, please. Jasper Jacks is my sole investor, and I think that his reputation speaks for itself.
And I absolutely adore Jax. Is he around?
Giselle! You're looking as lovely as ever.
Despite a run-in with the head of a mob syndicate, well, I found Mr. Zakara charming. He's not the company I usually keep.
Oh, in that case, we will have to find something more appropriate for you to do during your visit. If I remember correctly, you're always up for a game of chance, are you?
What do you have in mind?
Roulette, actually.
Monte Carlo or Dubai?
The Haunted Star. It's a casino on the waterfront here, and Kate and I were just about to go over there after work. Would you care to join us?
That's a wonderful idea, Jax. Unless, Giselle, I'm sure you have to get back to
I wouldn't miss it. One doesn't often get the chance to gamble in the wilds of upstate.
Shall we?
Just get my purse.
Enjoy. What the hell was Anthony Zakara doing?
I don't have time to explain. I have to find Johnny.
Really?
Hate to be the one to break it to you, but those two, definitely sleeping together.
That's impossible. Nicholas is way too in love with Emily to ever cheat on her.
It's not technically cheating if your fiancé's dead.
It would still feel like that to him.
Who said anything about feelings? There is such a thing as grief sex, and that woman, perfectly willing to give it to him.
No, Nicholas is way too honorable to ever sleep with a woman like that.
Okay, he might be a prince, but he's far from perfect. He's still a man. And what man do you know who passes up a woman dressed like that?
I don't believe it. I won't. Not until Nicholas tells me himself.
Don't you dare ask him.
Why not?
Well, because then he's going to think you're a creepy stalker and not just a friend, and it'll ruin any chance you have with him.
I appreciate your offer, but this clinic is my last gift to Emily. I want to build it myself with my own money.
You mean without money that's tainted by organized crime? If you think I meant to use your place as a front or something, you couldn't be more wrong. I wouldn't.
No, that thought never even crossed my mind, honestly.
Good. Then let me help. We both know I owe you.
to remind me to thank your father when we find him.
For what?
For what? Well, I have forgotten what it's like to just pick up and go, you know? Back in my salvage days, I would do it all the time. I'd just sail from one port to the next. No plan, no schedule, just leave.
Do you ever regret giving it up?
Yeah, sometimes. I think my life was probably a lot simpler back then, and it was a lot easier to stay distracted, and things got tough, I would just go, and I can't do that now. It wouldn't necessarily be fair.
Yeah? For who?
Well, my mom and my sisters, and you. I never would have guessed a cop could handle himself so well in a bar fight.
Well, you would be surprised what they teach in the academy these days.
Oh, yeah? Do they teach you how to handle big biker guys?
No, I became a cop to make a difference, to try and do something good with my life. Not that I'm imposed to rules and regulations or trying to have fun. You know what, that probably just sound a little defensive.
Well, I think it sounds like that you have probably caught a lot of criticism, probably from Luke, probably for the choices that you've made.
Yeah, my dad doesn't understand how a kid of his could end up on the wrong side of the law. At least as far as he's concerned.
Well, I happen to like who you are, and I wouldn't change a thing.
Neither would I.
Oh, that's good.
You know, you just seem so relaxed and happy, a little different from when we're back home.
Do I?
Uh-huh.
Hey, Cindy. Who's your friend?
Thank you. The Haunted Star has the only gambling license in Miles. It's under new ownership. They don't mind us playing for high stakes.
I trust it won't be a waste then. I'd hate to walk in and find a card table with a row of slots.
I'm sure you won't be disappointed.
Well, how could I be with you to keep me company?
Well, thank you.
Oh, dear God. Excuse me? Oh, my, what a fabulous suit. You don't often see a man of that age so well tailored. Do you know him?
No, I don't. I've never seen him before.
Well, perhaps we should get going.
No, what?
Giselle, well, let me introduce you to a friend of mine. This is, Giselle.
Yes.
What a lovely name. I'm Damien. It's a pleasure to meet you.
So I'm thinking about removing this wall here and expanding the waiting area. That way there'll be more room for patients and their families, but I'm afraid that we may have to lose one of these exam rooms to make that happen. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
But is it worth it?
What?
To lose an exam room for more space in here.
That is entirely up to you.
Are you all right?
Yeah, why?
I don't know, you just seem a little distracted.
Oh, I'm just trying to picture it all in my head.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think we'll be able to envision it a bit better once we get the plans from the architect, but I think at least in the meantime we can get the carpenter in here and do a little walkthrough.
Are you sleeping with Claudia Zakara? Johnny?
Johnny's not here. But then if you'd bothered to call instead of just barging in, I could have saved you a trip.
Well, I can wait.
I live here too, Lulu. So you don't just get to barge in without knocking.
Johnny gave me a key.
What'd I tell you about the attitude?
I don't listen to what you say. It makes it easier for me to tolerate you for Johnny's sake.
Let me put this in a language that you can understand, little Lulu. The only reason that you're still alive is because my father is using you to manipulate my brother. If you actually cared about John at all, you wouldn't hang around to give my dad the leverage he needs.
You can save the speech. Trevor already tried to get me to leave town, but I'm not going anywhere.
No, of course you're not, because why would you do anything that wasn't in your own selfish best interest? All right. Let me put it this way, Lulu. If you want to go on living your safe, little, sweet life, you stay the hell away from my brother.
You may be a spoiled bitch who's used to getting everything she wants, but not this time. You're not getting Nicholas, and you're sure as hell not keeping me out of Johnny's life.
Tell him I came back.
Where's Lulu?
She left.
Did she say when she'd be back?
Lulu doesn't say a whole lot to me unless she's hurling insults. I mean, you're welcome to wait around, but I can't guarantee when or if she's going to return. She's not exactly known for her attentiveness to this job, but I keep holding out that the last responsible bone in Lulu's body will pull through and she'll show up to finish her work. Have you tried to call her?
Yeah, a couple of times. Went straight to voicemail.
Well, Kate makes us turn our cell phones off while we're working for her. Something about us being here to answer her calls and not our own. I'm sure she just forgot to turn it back on.
Guess I'll wait.
Well, if you're gonna hang around, you might as well help me take these boxes to storage, unless you plan on sitting there watching me break my back while I do it myself.
You know, somehow you strike me as anything but helpless.
Not to worry, my existential crisis has been permanently put on hold. Hey. Robin. Robin.